is. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, when the notice was sent out at like 10:45, I was out. Man,
Yeah,
I slept early last night. Okay, well, so were a lot of people. But you know, it's normal that Lieutenant Governor came out with a video for the school kids. They posted that thing at like 10 o'clock at night. So it is what it is. Let's get Senator Telo Taitague on in the KUAM link, the Zoom room. Good morning, Senator. Well, how are you?
Well, much better, but I'm glad you made me laugh, Chris. I mean, 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, it's such a shame. I mean, I'm doing good actually today. I had my booster shot on Friday, and it kicked my butt. I was out for 3 days, just feeling sick. In fact, I was thinking about going to get tested on Saturday, thinking, oh my gosh, I think I got COVID before the booster shot got in or took effect, and it really hit me hard, this booster. And then to hear Dr. Ho come on, or Dr. Wynn come on and say that another variant might come. I'm just dreading the thought of having to get another booster shot later on, because that really kicked my butt. But yeah, I feel much better today. It's now going on the 4th day, feel much better. So been missing out on some things, but trying to maintain the work, keeping the work going, and submitted a couple. I introduced a bill on Friday. Thank goodness it was before I got sick. So introduced that bill, and of course sent a letter out based on the response of BBMR's letter, or half, I shouldn't say that word, but just incomplete work of the report that was submitted on November 4th.
Right.
So there was still a lot of work being done, and I know you might have to go to a public.
That's why I want to just get to the point, Senator Tello. We did want to get a reaction from you. Just first on that ARP report, because it was your amendment to the budget bill that mandated, not suggested, that they file this report. That being said, it wasn't much of a report. It was a sheet of paper.
No, it wasn't. And from what I heard, some of my colleagues chimed into that, and everything they said is true to form. I appreciate their comments that they made, but the intent was the same intent that the U.S. government required, the U.S. Treasury required, and that was the word allocations, to submit allocations of all that they published through ARP guidance. And unfortunately, the governor is required to provide the report on all spending of CARES and ARP funding, even through allocations. And if they did that there, then how come they can't do it for the people of Guam to look at? I mean, they have that information because they have to accumulate that as well, but they just refuse to give it to the people of Guam and be transparent about it. So I sent a letter specifically pointing that out to Mr. Carlson, that in Section 27 requires that the local ARP funding allocation, that Imagahagan should include an accounting of all ARP funding that has yet to be discretionary earmarked to the program or activity. The U.S. Treasury uses the term allocation within all published ARP guidances. Thus, at a minimum, the term allocation used in Section 27 was intended to embrace the status of Guam's allocation share of ARP funding from the U.S. Treasury. That includes information contained within BBMR's November 4th, 2020 report, reflecting Imagahagan's divvying of the ARP funding. So it clearly states to them, shows them exactly where I think they fell short and where they continue to be disingenuous with the people of Guam's funding. This is the people's money.
You know what?
Not Governor Lilian Guerrero, the people's money.
What I thought was interesting is it didn't have like a starting figure, like the total. Like last we heard was she got 553 million, but it didn't. I don't think I saw that on there, so that you can start subtracting, right, in terms of how much is left.
Yeah.
Which would seem like an important detail.
Right, and if you notice, you didn't even see the 300 million that she set aside for the hospital.
Yeah,
It
so what do you
wasn't-
do? I mean, what do you do? We talk about the transparency, and then you guys do your job, and you pass a law requiring them to be transparent, and then they just do the absolute bare minimum.
Yeah, exactly. And it's unfortunate that they want to play games, and this needs to stop. If we have to write laws for them to be, ethical about this funding, then I guess we have to do that, because it's obvious that this administration is wanting to continue to hide information from the people. I mean, let alone, I heard that they're put a gag order on KUAM, that directors. Is that true? When I heard that, I thought that, oh my God, how can any administration, any government elected official do something like that, especially to a station that is winning awards for being, honest and fair on providing news. I mean, many of us go to KUAM just to find out what's going on in the government that are elected officials, because we're not giving information. I mean, feeling your frustration. And I want to thank you, because it's actually prompted me to introduce Bill 221 that will actually do that. Your frustration is our frustration, because we're not in the in-group, so we'd like to see that information provided without FOIAing. And actually, I'm getting some texts from individual people thanking me for introducing it, the Bill 221, and saying it's about time. So I know we were coming up on the top of the hour. I don't want to take up too
No,
much time.
Senator, 221, is this the measure that we were talking about last week that would require the administration to post all hires and any
Yes.
raises that are outside of the normal 3% non-political hire type raise?
Right, absolutely. And I'll be happy to come on the show again to explain that bill more thoroughly to you.
Well, what prompted that bill was the story we did on the $11,000 6-step pay raise that was given to a revenue tax unclassified political hire. So maybe we just get your reaction on that inspiration for this measure.
Well, we did a lot of research on it. For me, there's always three sides to a story: his, hers, and the truth. So we make sure we do our due diligence and find out what exactly happened. And through our research, we were finding out that sometimes staffing patterns are submitted to the legislature, but only done through the budget bill, asking for quarterly reports. But sometimes these reports come to us so bulky that you can't really find it. You have to go through a fine-tooth comb and look through every one of them. So I thought, well, why hasn't this been done for years through law? It doesn't always have to be in the budget bill. What are we going to wait for? Somebody say, oh, I don't want this in the budget bill, and take it out. Let's codify it and require that transparency, for everyone to review. I think we were notified of this pay raise by an employee at Rev and Tax, doing some information there. And unfortunately, we get these calls sometimes by things that are people seeing that, what's going on at their department and agency is unfair, and somebody is getting a boost up and with no justification to it. So, of course, they want to be not anonymous, so we go ahead and continue on with our research and find that it's true to form. And I think that people need to have the opportunity to review this information for themselves and see what's going on. And maybe some of this will stop. Some of this unfairness, this abuse of taxpayers' money.
Well, thank you for introducing that bill. I know that I actually have been requesting for staffing patterns for Adelup specifically for the first, second, third quarter of this year.
You haven't
because
got those yet?
No, I haven't.
What?
Because when you go and you search for it, you'll only see for the fourth quarter of 2021.
Right. And so
Well,
what
this is in two form, by the way. There, you're going to get the regular staffing patterning quarterly that we get right now, and I said it's going to be codified in law. It's not going to just happen because it's in the budget bill. The second one will be a monthly report of any new hires, the amounts they're getting, if they were given a increase other than a what's called an increment that's normal, normally given, anything out of the unusual. If an individual has been transferred to a different department but paid out of that agency, that happens quite a bit too. So this report will come in monthly. So there's going to be information provided there on monthly. But I really want to thank you too, because it was through your push and your frustration, as I mentioned, that guided me to do this legislation. And I appreciate your research into this KUAM and the link for staying on top of this as well. It's unfortunately that we have to do something like this for an administration to be transparent.
Very frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even to get a simple staffing pattern. I mean, what we're trying to do is look at the staffing pattern that's out now and compare it to the one previous, because it looks like they're migrating employees to be funded by American Rescue Plan funds, which I didn't see in the report, and so that's why.
Well, on the staffing pattern, so there's 5 people actually that have been hired with ARP money, and this is for the Office of Homelessness Assistance,
Right.
for OHAP.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably get a lot of kickback because there are going to be people who don't like this transparency, and it's running into their game plan of whatever they're trying to do. But I greatly appreciate the public to come forward, and push for a public hearing on this bill so we can get it up and running and put it on the books. And that anybody who has an agency that's head of an agency complies to this requirement. But we're going to need the help. And I think the media, if you have an opportunity to come and testify on this bill, I greatly appreciate it, because it basically stemmed from your hard work and diligence on wanting to know the truth about how our taxpaying money is being used. And federal money that's coming in as well is being used. So it's going to be very helpful to have the media come and testify too on this legislation.
That sounds like fun to me. I gotta check my boss though. I gotta check my boss.
Absolutely. It would be good to see. I've never seen media come and testify on anything. Well, I did see Tony La Morena last year come and testify, and that was on the funding of I think it was the CARES Act money that was coming in and how it should be utilized. I think he came to testify. It would be very, very good to see, KUAM, the Post, the PDN to come and testify on this, because if anyone is more frustrated in trying to get information to report to the people of Guam, it is the media. So this bill is in dedication to the media, and
could you introduce a bill that when you WhatsApp, like a communications director or a public information officer or whatever, whenever you WhatsApp them, can you introduce a law that they have to respond? They can't leave you on red.
And that was why I was bringing it up earlier, for them to be given a gag order, to not go on a radio station that's the most popular radio station, that's ridiculous. This is where critical information, people listen to the radio to get critical information. They don't always have, internet or, but they do have radio. And it's just shameful for something like that to happen. I mean, I have some media people that I'm not very friendly with, but it does, it won't stop me from coming on and reaching out to everyone. I work for everybody, every person on this island who calls Guam home and pays their taxes. They're my boss, and I answer to them. And whatever way I can get to them and tell them what I'm doing, I do. I post every week on my Facebook page what I do all week. You can see it from day one since the 35th to see what work I'm doing on behalf of them. So I just so sad to hear that our administration, our governor, I mean, she's my governor too, but for her to put a gag order, if that's the truth, it's shameful. I'm waiting for the next public hearing to come up to ask that individual director, have you been told not to go on the link or be interviewed? I will ask that question. Every single director that comes in my path and put it on public. So I'm warning now that it will be asked. So if everyone's listening to all those directors.
Now they're going to put a gag order in the hearing. Oh, don't go to the hearings. They're going to ask you about the link. I mean, Senator, it's really, it's frustrating on our part. That's fine. The governor, lieutenant governor, they don't want to come on, whatever, it's their prerogative. But during a pandemic, public health, the hospital, the relevant agencies, especially when we're trying to save lives by rolling out the booster, trying to save lives by rolling out the kid vaccine, trying to save lives by providing crucial and key information in a timely manner to the biggest audience. That's
and not only that, provide information on financial assistance programs that are out there to help people in our community that need assistance and to get by. There's no more PUA. We've tried to get on the Department of Labor, the Department of Administration. We're talking about the ERA program, right? And people need that rental assistance. That not only just goes to rental, it goes to power and water. Yeah. But nothing.
And I mean, we have receipts. We're reaching out to these directors constantly, and they're all saying the same thing. Oh, we can't. Oh, can't. But then it's funny. Not necessarily the directors, but other people from the administration have just straight up said, like, oh, is this for the link? Yeah, I can't do it. Sorry. So it's just really, it is frustrating. But yeah, we got a job to do, and we're still doing it, regardless of what or who doesn't want to come on.
Yeah. This press conference is happening now. We didn't find out about it till 10:46 at night.
Yeah, that's
I mean, we're still waiting actually for this press conference.
What's going on and how she's conducting herself, especially to provide the people of Guam information on the use of federal funding and not and putting gag orders against media, that provide the information to the people of Guam, can get her in a lot of hot water. Definitely can make them think again about how much money is submitted to Guam, under her jurisdiction. This could cause some issues on the federal side. We may not get federal funding because of how she's, I would say, abusing her power for something as important as this, to get information out to the people of Guam and how to receive federal funding, or it just doesn't look good on our record to the federal government. So I think she should be very cautious, moving forward, and jeopardizing any more future federal funding to the island because of her actions. And that deserved a pin drop, yes.
Or a mic drop, right? Yeah. Senator, thank you so much for your support.
Thanks, Senator.
No, I mean, every media should not be every media should be treated with respect. There's some that we don't care for, but even myself, but they reach out to the people, and we work for the people, and any avenue they receive, they can receive information. It looks like you guys are about to get started on this.
Yeah, there's a press briefing.
Feel free to just
yeah, we're gonna head there.
Happy to come on talk more about the bill 221.
Right. Yeah.
And hopefully, I did receive his response from Lester Carlson last night, saying that they will provide what was the correct verbiage they used on this, how they are going to provide me, what did Lester say? Let me see, what did he say? Deadline. Oh gosh, I can't seem to find it now. But he received letter press.
He said, duly noted.
He said, Hafide Senator Taitague, I acknowledge receipt and note that DOA and BBMR will reply formally. In short, we do believe we responded appropriately.
Yeah, of course they did.
That was it.
Okay, Senator, we got to run. Thank you.
Everybody. Okay, create a great day.
It's like high comedy. Okay, so let's head over to